Hello, good morning. It's funny how YouTube channels, we talk about plagiarism when you copy somebody's words or their ideas and you claim them to be for yourself. At the moment, there seems to be a little bit of a, sorry, a little bit of a to and fro between Stephen and myself. No, it's not really. I don't even know the guy. I enjoy his videos, and the other day I did a critique, I suppose you'd call it, of why there was the need to put a little piece in it about prostitution here in the Philippines. And I just didn't think it was always the best. Now, that's not me being holier than thou. It's just making a little bit of what I felt was common sense, not to leave a dog lying. Don't stir it up too much. And that's all it was. And oh my goodness, it became an issue. I don't believe it became an issue for Stephen. It became an issue for one of my long-term, I don't know whether he's a subscriber, but he's spoken to me many times. It starts with Arts, Parks and something or other. He decided to have a ticking off of me as if he's my grandfather telling me what I do, and if I don't take it down, he's going to report me, and I found that rather stupid and irresponsible of him to even put it in writing. But we can't make choices of what people think and say. Fortunately, we have got a free thought in this country and everywhere else. But Stephen is right. He can't be held responsible for people's thoughts as a result of their perception of what he said. And as he says, he jumps from one subject to another, which makes the viewing interesting. He doesn't stay focused on one particular issue. But, of course, the people viewing it will always see something different. People who watch my channel, people who watch Sunshine Shoulders, doesn't matter who. In the past, I've, Stephen will know this, tongue-in-cheek. I think I can still do it now. That looks more like Popeye, but that's tongue-in-cheek. It's meaning a little bit taking the piss, and I've often said, anybody out there who's got a a DTI, I think they called it, a DTI mini drone. If they don't want it, how about dropping it my way? Now, is that e-begging or is it tongue-in-cheek? The likelihood that someone's going to send me one would be far from remote. But we get people who comment on that. The people are suggesting that I've e-begged for my teeth to be done. Actually, the lady I'm staying with at the moment has offered to pay for it. Now, I haven't accepted it. I paid for it myself. To date, I've spent 11,000 pesos, and I believe I've got to spend nearly 40,000 more for the actual dentures, which should be coming sometime towards the end of next week. And the idea that I've been on my channel or anywhere e-begging for payment is ridiculous. What I can say is that many of you very kind people out there, including my son, have sent me contributions to help me. Not that I necessarily needed them, but after all, I'm an old guy on a pension, and maybe they thought, why not just give him a kind gift to help him on his way? And I have received, just trying to think now, just over 10,000. So in actual fact, if you take that into account, it hasn't actually cost me 11,000, even though I paid it out of my own money, because the other money was paid into my PayPal account, and I haven't transferred it back to my Australian account so I can get it here in the Philippines. But what was the other thing I'm e-begging for? My teeth? My dentures? I don't know. Anyway, it's all ridiculous anyway. And I wasn't complaining about his video, about that Stephen's video about e-begging, because Stephen, as well, knowing that he sort of detests the idea of e-begging, of course, all of us can see that he's also suggesting or making comment to buy me a coffee. Now, some of you out there might think that that's also e-begging. Actually, because of Stephen, I'm now going to look at buying me a coffee on my channel too, both of them. And I'd like to point out that the money that I do get will be going to me. If it goes to PayPal, it goes to me. If it goes in the form of a super chat that sometimes we get either on lives or occasionally on videos, most of that goes, well, 30% of it goes to YouTube, and the balance goes to my stepdaughter Jera's education fund, which she's almost approaching July this year to be graduating as a young accountant, which I clearly am delighted that she's managed to get through the dreadful 4 years that it's taken, even with the shutdown that we had around the world. But I'm sure that none of you would feel that that is e-begging when the money is going to a good cause, and it's not going to me. And sure, there are guys out there that use the money to better their situation. A good example is Sick Grandpa. I think he calls himself something else, another channel now. He, according to other bloggers suggesting, he only has to do a live where he's sitting down for a steak meal or a 5-star Chinese rice pudding, and before you know it, people are sending large amounts of money for him to have that meal. And of course he probably will be saying, I might be a millionaire, but if there's a fool out there willing to give me money for my food and my 5-star living, then isn't that e-begging? Almost e-begging to the extreme. And there, of course, as Stephen pointed out there, I don't know who he's talking about, but somebody was sick and needed help with paying for his hospital fees. We've got to remember that when you're on a pension, and it's a fixed amount, except maybe a cost of living allowance during the year, there will be a need to be careful with your money. And of course many of us could fall foul of a situation like myself, where you put most, if not all, of your money into building a home and what will become a legacy for your then partner and her children. And unfortunately you can end up with egg on your face or teethless like myself. But yes, sometimes a helping hand is helpful. And after all, we're creating something that you can watch and enjoy. And why not feel free as a person? Nobody's demanding that you do it. And in fact, I changed my my notification in my contents part of my videos from support my channel to a more laid back. Again, it is really a request. If you felt like donating, feel free to do so. And I've named my PayPal account. Again, I don't see myself as e-begging. But yes, there are people out there, channels, British channels as well, that used to support their lifestyle really completely, virtually completely, from donations given to the channel. But Is it wrong or is it right? I don't know. Some people think it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. I'd love to have a bad taste in my mouth. Some food that I've chomped into with my nice new teeth. But unfortunately, I have to wait another week or so. Anyway, jokes aside, this is, I suppose, as a suggestion by one of Stephen's comments to his channel. Oh, I'm sure that John will do a rebuttal. Well, this isn't a rebuttal. It's like all channels. We follow each other. We get ideas from each other. To suggest that somehow thoughts of our day come magically into our head every day. They come from experiences. They come from watching TV channels, maybe even overseas. And they give us ideas. They pop into our head. You know, I'd love to have a little tape recorder. No, you don't need to send me one that will record in the middle of the night when I get these brainstorms and think, oh, that would be a good idea to talk about that. By the time the morning comes, I've already forgotten what that was. So that one's gone to the moon. But yes, we probably need to write these things down as we go along. I should have a little piece of string and a pad attached to my belt, so that if, and a pencil of course, to write down these instant thoughts that come into my mind and evaluate and maybe extend the point of view. But at the moment, my thoughts for the day tend to focus on my immediate situation and hope that some of the things that I do talk about are of help to those that maybe are experiencing it silently on their own, to remind them that these things happen to all of us, and not all, but a lot of us. And if you have an understanding from listening to my videos, and Stephen's, and Calvin, and whoever, even sick grandpa, it all helps him, me, you, and life carries on. So that's my thought for Grumpy today. I'm not really grumpy. I felt a bit painful this morning. It's mainly seems to be on the top at the moment. But I'm having fun in front of a mirror, you know, doing getting all the different faces so I can have the look occasionally to add maybe to friends and family. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and no, I'm not going to suggest you do anything. That, of course, is up to you. Bye now.